I'm indeed very much honored to join you at this very important meeting and to speak to you in my capacity both as the Minister for Health and Medical Services in the government of Fiji, but also as the current chair of the Pacific Health Ministers meeting. So once again, welcome to Fiji. I would like to begin this morning by acknowledging that today, 25th April, is Anzac Day. The day each year when the people of Australia and New Zealand take time to remember their fellow countrymen and women who served and died in war and on operational service. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say that we too recognize the sacrifices they made and join with our Australian and New Zealand friends and colleagues in acknowledging the debt that we all owe to them. I'd also like to extend a very special welcome to those of you who have travelled from elsewhere in the Pacific or further afield to join us here today. So on behalf of the Government of the Republic of Fiji and the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, we are happy to host you for the next few days in our country and our capital city. I hope you can find some time in your busy schedule to visit our downtown Suva and enjoy all it has to offer by the way of shopping, sightseeing and sampling some of our uniquely Fijian cuisine, but in moderation of course. Ladies and gentlemen, it always gives me great pleasure to welcome our Pacific neighbours to Fiji. We have so much in common, yet we also retain and value those things that make each one of us, our countries and territories, so special and unique. We share so many challenges, but we address them in different ways, and that is why meetings such as these are so worthwhile. They provide a valuable opportunity for you as leaders in your respective health systems to learn from each other and to take these learnings back, adapt them as necessary and apply them for the benefit of your own communities. Of course, as a Fijian, I cannot help but feel some degree of pride when I recall that Fiji was the birthplace of the Healthy Islands vision when health ministers met in 1995 on Yanuda Island along the coast to the west of where we are today. That vision, ladies and gentlemen, has been instrumental in guiding the work of health ministers and heads of health for 22 years and remains as relevant today as it was when it was first defined. The challenges, of course, that were identified at that first meeting of Pacific health ministers have proved to be enduring. The predominant and growing burden of non-communicable diseases, the lingering burden of infectious diseases and the dangers of their re-emergence, and of course the need to support health systems so that they can cope with this double burden of communicable and non-communicable diseases. I am sure those challenges are no less significant for each of you now than they were for your predecessors in the closing years of the last century. There can be no doubt that epidemic of non-communicable diseases that continues to impact on all our populations is one of the most serious threats to health in our region. Despite significant investments in time and money, progress has been painfully slow. Too many people in the Pacific are still eating unhealthy food, taking insufficient exercise, smoking, and consuming harmful quantities of alcohol. As a relatively newcomer to the health sector, I have only been a minister for 7 months, but it frustrates me to see that our sustained efforts to tackle NCD seems to yield relatively little by the way of impact. At the same time, I am only too aware that many of the factors that contribute to the growth of NCDs lies outside the health sector. I am pleased to say that more of my fellow ministers are becoming aware of the part they need to play in tackling the factors that make it harder to be healthy. And I'm also proud to say that our President, His Excellency Major General Chochi Kondrate, serves in an honorary position as Fiji's champion in the campaign against NCDs, a role to which he is strongly committed and contributes enthusiastically. Ladies and gentlemen, while politicians like me obviously have an important role to play in the fight against NCDs, we also look to you as leaders of our health administrations and powerful voices in your own right for guidance and insights into how best we can tackle this issue for our people. I know you will devote a good amount of time over this course in your meeting to also discussing the issue of NCDs, and as you do so, I hope you will be open to new ideas and innovations. If I can be allowed just one criticism, and again I speak as someone who is coming relatively fresh to these issues, it is that we seem to have countless strategies, commitments and plans, which detail the causes and scale of the problems we face when it comes to NCDs, with very little way of a practical solution or ways of turning our many statements of intent into actions. In the face of such serious threat, we all should be focused on finding what works and what doesn't, and sharing that knowledge in forums such as this is very much welcomed. The threat that NCDs pose to our communities is highlighted by the original Healthy Islands vision. It is interesting to note that health ministers in 1995 also included ecological balance and healthy oceans as elements in the vision for the Pacific. Like NCDs, those are concerns that have become more prominent in our thinking since that time. Fiji will later this year, ladies and gentlemen, assume the presidency of COP23, the 23rd session of the Conference of Parties to the Kyoto Protocol on Climate Change. Our own Honourable Prime Minister will also serve as co-president of the UN Oceans Conference in June this year. Both these events offer unique opportunities for the countries and territories of the Pacific to highlight the very serious threats that climate change poses to our health, in some cases our very existence. It can no longer be denied that the Pacific is already becoming heavily impacted by the effects of global warming. Many of the countries and territories represented here today have been affected. To highlight just a handful of recent examples, Cyclone Pam wreaked havoc in Vanuatu and Tuvalu in 2014. T.C. Winston, one of the first severe tropical cyclones to hit our region in 2016, was the strongest tropical cyclone to make landfall in the South Pacific in recorded history, which devastated Fiji and caused great damage in Tonga as well. More recently, severe tropical cyclone Debbie affected Australia and New Zealand just last month, while memories of severe tropical cyclone Cook are still all too fresh in the minds of people of New Caledonia, while its aftermath also impacted on New Zealand. And all the while, rising sea levels threaten water supplies, essential infrastructure and livelihoods in many of our island communities. If the links between climate change and health were ever open to questioning, they are now all too well established. So ladies and gentlemen, I invite you all to take back to your countries the message that Fiji is leading the charge on behalf of the Pacific and the world with pride, energy and enthusiasm, and ask your governments to support this. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to allow me to share with you just one more area where, as a newcomer to your world, I have great concerns, and that is the issue of antimicrobial resistance. While we rightly focus on NCDs, the fact is many of our recent achievements in tackling communicable diseases could be reversed by the emergence of drug-resistant bacteria. Over the course of your meeting, antimicrobial resistance, should I suggest, also feature prominently in your conversations. In 2015, Fiji became the first country in the Pacific to develop and launch a national plan for antimicrobial resistance. One of my earliest public engagements after I took up the health portfolio last September was to help mark Antimicrobial Awareness Week. That may explain why I continue to feel so strongly about the need to maintain our efforts to reduce the misuse and overuse of antibiotics. To quote Dame Sally Davis, Chief Medical Officer in England, I quote, "Antimicrobial resistance is a ticking time bomb. We need to work with everyone to ensure the apocalyptic scenario of widespread antimicrobial resistance does not become a reality," unquote. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to take heed of this passionate advocate for antimicrobial awareness words and reflect on what they might mean for the future challenges of communicable diseases in our region. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, that Fiji, along with the rest of our region, still grapples with the so-called double burden of communicable and non-communicable diseases, and will continue to do so for the many years to come. We cannot afford to let the very threat of NCDs pose real threats to our people, their livelihoods, our countries and territories, economic growth, and our ability to provide our citizens with a better quality of life. Ladies and gentlemen, the work that you do and the work that you'll be doing over the next few days is of vital importance to our region and our people. I know your agenda is full and I know you'll be busy, but I'm sure your passion and commitment and dedication towards this cause will sustain you. I certainly and definitely look forward to hearing more of the outcomes of your deliberations and to discussing them with my fellow ministers when we meet in Geneva next month and again in Rarotonga in August. So on this note, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to declare this meeting open. May you have a successful meeting. May you have a safe journey back home. And God bless us all. Thank you.